All right, in 1.4, we're talking about variable expressions. Variable is a letter used to represent a number or numbers in math. That's what makes algebra not arithmetic anymore. We start putting letters in, start confusing them, okay? A variable expression is an expression consisting of sums and or products of variables and numbers. 2x plus 4 is one example. There are many. Here I have a variable expression that I want to evaluate. So I want to evaluate where x equals 4, y equals 5, and z equals 8. So this is a matter of plugging in the numbers for the appropriate letter and then following our order of operations. So we're going to have y squared, or 5 squared, plus 3 times 8 divided by 4. So I put my 5 in for y, I put my 8 in for z, and my 4 in for x. And now I'm just going to follow my order of operations. Grouping symbols. Again, that 8 is not considered a grouping symbols there. That's a multiplication. So grouping symbols, none. Exponents, yes. 5 squared. So we're done with exponents. Now we have multiplication or division left to right. So that would mean if I'm reading this left to right, this comes next. We still got some multiplication or division left to right. So 24 divided by 4 comes next. And that's 6. And then lastly, my addition, 25 plus 6, 31. All right, next question, same thing. We're going to plug in those numbers. So 3 times 4 squared plus parentheses 2 times 5 plus 8 squared, close parentheses. 3 times 4 squared plus 2 times 5 plus 8 squared. Plugging in again, 4 for x, 5 for y, 8 for z. And we're going to work this out. All right, grouping symbols first. So we have a set of parentheses. Inside the parentheses, we have multiplication. We have addition. We have exponents. Exponents come first. Now I'm probably throwing more steps into this question than needed. So if you are pretty good at your order of operations and you see where you can do more than one step in a problem, you go right ahead. I'm not going to do that though. So 8 squared, 64. Next step, still grouping symbols. Multiplication and addition. So multiplication comes next. Still in my grouping symbols. 10 plus 64. 5 times 2. Still in my grouping symbols. But I can add those, and then I can drop them. 10 plus 64. 74. Now I've got multiplication, addition, power. Power comes first, or exponents. This is a long one. This is why there's a couple things you could shorten. Multiplication before addition. And finally, I can add these together. 2, 112, no, 10, 11, 12, 122. Now again, that one was a lot of different steps that could have been shortened up. I could have done that stuff towards the left sooner. And if you are good with this, you can do that. But if you're not, don't do that. Okay, we're going to get through this next part about like terms, but I'm going to stop there then we'll do the distributive property next time. Okay. Like terms are terms with the same variable expression. So that means like exactly the same. X is not the same thing as x squared. X is not the same thing as xy. Okay? X is the same thing as x, y is the same thing as y, x squared the same as x squared. You combine those terms by adding or combining or subtracting, collecting, whatever word you like, the coefficients, the number in front. So these are like terms. They both have an n. So positive 7 and minus 4 give me a positive 3n. So again, when my variables are like, I simply collect or combine or add or subtract the coefficients. In this case, 7 minus 4 is positive 3 with my variable. When there's not a coefficient, there is an understood 1. So that 1 is understood. At any time, if it is helpful for you to write the 1, then write it. If it doesn't matter to you that you don't need it there, then and you know it, then don't write it. So this term is like this term because they both say x squared, x to the second power. So 1 and a positive 2 give me 3, x squared. And then this little guy here has nothing to collect with, so it's just part of my answer at the end or first. It doesn't matter order. I'm not picky about that. In my next question, like terms are this one is alike with this one because they both say y. This one is like this one because they're both numbers without any letters. So positive 8 y and minus 10 y, 8 minus 10 is negative 2 y, and positive 7 plus 2, positive 9. If you know that adding and subtracting positives and negatives is your weakness, then use a calculator, please. Okay? Use the calculator. You have access to it 100% of the time. Okay, my last one before we'll break here. This is like this with an understood 1. This one is like this one because they both say x. And this is like this. They're both numbers with no letters. Now, I am underlining, circle, identifying like terms in my notes. You don't have to do that in your assignments, okay? I'm not asking you to underline like terms or identify them in any way. I just need you to give me the answer, okay? So, the x squared, positive 3 minus 1 is positive 2. Positive 9 and minus 7 is positive 2, x. And then my constant terms, the numbers without x's, positive 4 and minus 12 is minus 8. And again, I am not particular about the order of the answer as long as your numbers and signs are correct, okay? All right, some questions on what I covered.